shoot, we are good.
Ladies and gentlemen, here it is.
Streaming 24/7.
24/7.
Bold Moves Radio.
Bold Moves Radio.
Afrika nakupenda sana, oh Afrika nakupenda sana.
Ooh. Africa, nakupenda sana ngo. Africa, ladies and gentlemen, you know, by now we have the drill. When you hear that sound, you know that you are joining the African experience with me, Dr. Hlami Ngwenya, and this is Bold Move Radio. You know, we are talking to people who are actually taking bold steps. You know, I'm always not alone. I'm with my co-host, my beautiful, beautiful co-host, my partner in crime, actually, Mandla Aventina Mabunda. Aventina, Mandla, good evening, my sister.
Evening, Doc. Evening, Doc. Nice to see you. How are you? Where are you in the world? You always traveling all over this world.
Oh no, at this time around, I'm in Guyana. You know, like in the past, in the past, week or maybe 2 weeks, we literally drove from Cape Town to Guyana, over 2,000 kilometers. And I just love that, at least, not flying, but, driving. We had a stop in Pretoria. And yeah, it's beautiful. Normally, Guyana is very hot, but we are fine. It's not very hot. And today I did something very interesting. I visited the school where the school where I actually started my primary, my
Oh,
Gangeni
wow.
primary school at Malamlela. Oh, I think we should invite them on the show because they are doing, excellent work. But anyway, it's not about, Magangeni, it's not about me. I'm so excited about the guest that we are having tonight. I'm like looking at the work that they're doing, and I'm like, wow, wow, wow. If in this country we are able to actually do that, I think this country has a bright, bright future. Thank you so much, Mandla, for connecting us with, the people that, we are profiling, in the recent past, starting from last week and all that. I'll give you, the honors to actually introduce our guest for tonight.
No, thanks, Doc. But without further ado, I'm not going to say much, but we'll allow our guest of honor to actually introduce themselves and tell us their company name and what is it that they do. Then we will take it from there.
Hey.
Good evening, African Experience family. Firstly, thank you for the invite. Such an honor and a pleasure. Good evening to my teacher, my mentor, Usis Magda, right there as well. Yeah, because I'm here because of her as well. So yeah, in a nutshell, guys, by company name, we are Lifeway Importer Brands. So we are a food manufacturing entity and as well as beverage entity. So currently, today we in the cold chain supply. We are producing 100% fruit juice brand called Loxion Foods, also known by Loxion Foods Beverages. So it's small step foundations. It's actually our second company. My partner, I'm sure, will come in, Lungelo, later on. We are entrepreneurs at heart. So we started with a merchandising agency. I think 5 or 6 years back, it didn't work out. So after Lungelo worked for a dairy company, he hit me up. He came said, "First, petty receipt, manju teen." So I was like, "Hey, this industry is saturated, but we to get you. So what do we do? How do we distinguish ourselves?" So that's how the name Loxion Fruits was born. So we used Asekasi was born out of that name. So I wanted to be very much controversial so people can ask questions. IBV is Loxion. So you'll ask more
Yeah.
questions and you can tell the beautiful story behind it. So yeah, we are Lifeway Importer Brands in short, a food manufacturing entity, a brand, a food and beverage brand company.
Okay.
I hope
We will
that
come.
intro. Yeah.
Yes, we will come back, to what inspired, the name, because I look at it and I'm Loxion and Loxion. When we're writing these, I was asking my daughter, please, write, because I wanted to take your contact details. And then she asked me,
Yeah.
should I read it in Tsonga or in English? I'm like, no, it's like just Loxion.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whichever one.
Yeah, no, I like it, in Tsonga because, in
Yeah.
Tsonga X is she.
Yeah.
So Loxion, it's really, really,
Oh, yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Yes.
It
But
resonates.
anyway,
Yeah.
so okay, so you were telling us just in the nutshell, your brand and all that, but
Yeah.
on the show, what we do, we want to talk about the person behind, the
Yes.
brand before we even come
Okay.
to the brand, because a lot of people think when people have made it, they were born with, those opportunities. And sometimes they
Yes.
don't know that people are coming from humble beginnings. They,
Yes.
push
Yes.
boundaries and
Yes.
all that. Who is
Yes.
Patrick? Where do you come from? How would you
Wow.
define where your roots are?
Oh, wow. That's a deep, deep question. All right. Patrick is born, bred, and raised in the streets of Alexandra Township. Um, so from early days, I went to, I think in Balfour, Czech. I moved to Midrand. I went to Midrand High School. I came back to Loxion when my mom and dad had a divorce. So from then, after matric, I worked, and through work, well, I like saying my connection is quite godly. So I'm connected to God. So one day I was before I met Lungelo in business. So one day I was sitting, I think outside of a merchandising place where I was working. And I was thinking to myself, Nkulunkulu, I've become a failure. And then God just said to me, oh, lift up your head, man. I'm saying to you, you can own all these things. You can own a merchandising agent. So I think that entrepreneurship thing was in my heart and spirit. So, and then from there, while working, I studied marketing, a bit of marketing. I still want to do a degree in it. So on the side, besides working, the entrepreneurship thing was in me. So I've always had it. Then I was fortunate enough that while I was working in merchandising, I met Lungelo. He also had the very same spirit. We met in an aisle, we were merchandising phakathi one of the pharmaceuticals. And we sat down, on a bench and said, man, how about we start a company, man? How about we go into entrepreneurship? Let's go learn this thing in this journey. So I think that's how it came about, my humble beginnings. So I've always said this entrepreneurship thing and business thing, though yet the vision was not yet clear. God was about to clear it and make it more clearer. And I believe there's never coincidence because me and Lungelo, we met at that space at that right time. We were both merchandisers in different fields, and we met there. We had a divine connection there for entrepreneurship. And so that's how the whole journey of entrepreneurship between us just gave birth to itself. But me, humble beginnings. I come from the streets of Alexandra, born there. Grew up here, learning a lot. I always used to look at our mom about things the guys. I was always fascinated, and I think I've always loved sales. Because I'm a person like speaking so much. So sales was always in me. So then the vision grew, and the whole entrepreneurship idea and the vision just it blossomed out. So I think that's my journey, in a nutshell, of who Patrick is. He's an entrepreneur at heart and by birth from the streets of
Mhm.
Alexander, the dusty streets of Maroon. Yeah.
Wow, this is so interesting. I also get to know more of you, that you're not just Jay, yeah, but you're actually a deep
Yeah.
person, which is quite
Yeah.
interesting. Now, when I'm
Yes.
listening to you and where you started, both you and Lungelo were merchandisers,
Yes.
and you mentioned
Yeah.
pharmaceutical space. Now,
Yes.
fast track to 2024, you are doing
Yes.
Loxion fruit beverages,
Yes.
that is
Yeah.
agro-processing, that is food and
Yes.
beverage. What
Yes.
inspired that move from pharmaceuticals, which you were familiar with, to now making
Yeah.
beverages? Yeah.
No, no, thank you for the question, Sis Mandla. So I'll go back to the aisle again. And the power of the mouth is very powerful. I must just throw that in. I remember
Mm.
Nolungelo, I was telling him this other time, basically to totally order in one of the spas that we supply. And we were both merchandising, and we were like, you know what? The time I think it was our last year, we were about to depart. I was like, you know what, man? If this thing doesn't work out, to have a merchandising agent, let's create our own products. So we left it there. A years later, I think 2018, 19. That's when he found my numbers and he called me up, but man, I can make juice. So how about we go into the space? So then fast track, now we've got this product. We know that how through these ingredients juices can be made, you know. So now the thing is we are at secondary level producing, you know. So meaning we are buying from a third party. So fortunate enough, and you know why I'll keep mentioning God as well, is that when God is with you, you know, He connects the dots. He'll give you something, but along the way, you have to connect. Relationships are birthed, you know. So along our way, we went into programs with stakeholders. Since Mandla, you knowing being one of our stakeholders, our teacher meant. So we met the city of Johannesburg. I was his talk. I think they've got a food chain resilient program there. So that also with agriculture, the department, Gauteng Agriculture Department. They were also our stakeholders. They came on board. The DTIC as one of our stakeholders. So now this opened our mind, enlarging us from okay, now we've got a secondary product where we source it from. So now, how do about we move our and shift in our mind into primary production? So agro processing space. That's how it was born. Though we never knew much about it, but we're keen to make sure that one day we also need to cut off you know, the middleman and go directly into, you know, Okjala, you know, we want to harvest those oranges, we want to harvest those fruits, you know, we want to have a plantation, that plantation where we can have our own very own product from scratch. You know, we have our own machinery because end of the day, all of us as young black entrepreneurs, especially, we need to own the value chain. We can't always be at a space where source and we know very most of the people we're sourcing for it's our other brothers, you know. So we need to make sure that we come into a space, Nati, where we can start the product from ground. You know, it's like tati fruit. We can squeeze it out. You know, through the machines we'll have in the value chain. You know, process it and make it a fully fledged product. You know, without having a third party certain ingredient. So I think that's what pushed us to move into the agro processing space. You know, it gave us that mindset, and on top of that, even in job creation, you know, we know that that space where we have a plant, we can actually employ more people. You know, we can have people who pick up the oranges. You know, people are working in the processing space. Just to answer it in a nutshell.
Yeah.
Well, that is so beautiful. That is so beautiful. What I'm hearing, I look at you, you're a young, young and all that. And a lot of people will tell you that
Yeah.
young people are not interested in agriculture. And I
Yeah.
see you finding your niche in agriculture, and you came
Yes.
through the agro processing, and you begin to see what else you could do, and now you're interested in the primary production. I think for
Yes.
me, that is very, very interesting. And one thing that I also picked, with your story, because I call myself, the professional mom gobozi, you know, because
Yes.
yes, before we profile somebody, we go through their social media platform. We really do the Mam Gobozi stuff and really looking at the
Yeah.
things. And when Mandla shared, your contact details, and I went online and I'm like, no, man, Mandla, I don't think, do you think, this has been produced by somebody who looked like me? She said, yes.
Yeah.
Like, yo,
Yeah.
I am so
Wow.
impressed, and I
Wow.
have hope for this country. Honestly,
Yeah.
I
Oh,
have
wow.
hope for this country. And we'll be
Wow.
showing
Thank you.
some of, the products, because this is really, really, really very interesting. But before we
Oh,
show the
thank you.
products, I want to go back to something that we have said. You keep on saying, says Mandla, my mentor and all that. How
Yeah.
do you think has been the role of mentorship in where you are today? What was the role of mentorship?
Okay, okay. I didn't hear from the first part, but yeah, I can just speak on the mentor part. Yeah, as entrepreneurs, most of us, you can carry the gift, but every gift needs management. So you can have an idea, but you don't know the industries. You don't know anything about finances. You don't know value chain. Where does it start? You don't know suppliers. There's so much. You don't know marketing. Break even analysis in finances. So mentorship is key. It's fundamentally important We learn every day. I'll mention Sis Manda because we're in the Food Bev CETA program with her. She's our facilitator. And in a space of a year, she has taught us so much. Like my mind is bubbled. It's like it's wide open, worse. I'm even more sharpened. So mentorship is very crucial. If ever you're an up and coming entrepreneur, if you're gonna survive, it's like Baghdad is a small fish you are thrown into the sea where there are sharks, there are whales, and you just this little and you have no coach, you have no teacher. It's like remember those old karate movie kid, but karate kid, there's always Mr. Miyagi. So every every student needs a teacher, and then I'm so thankful so much that we have so many stakeholders, including our sis Mandla. They are with us on this journey. We've got people our city of Johannesburg, our sis Tor, we've got people in the DTIC, NYDA. So and they always make sure that they are behind us. They give us and equip us so much, so much capacity and knowledge and information that so we can survive. Because I mean, one day to mention these big names, we want to compete. Now, Tiger Brands, Pioneer Foods, those are big guys with big budgets and big money. Nestle, So we also need to be ready for when the storm comes, So mentorship is key. It's very, very important.
Wow, yo, Doc, this is humbling to sit here and listen to Patrick say all these things because they resonate 100% with me and where we come from with our mentorship program. And to see it play out now live, it's very humbling. We have a comment from Tepang Shilwani. He's saying, very inspiring story, Patrick. So there are people listening on YouTube, there are people watching on Facebook Live. So people are really expressing their fascination, their inspiration on what you guys are doing. So, we need to go on an ad break. And then when we come back, we will hear more about Loxion Fruits Beverage. Please do not move. Stay where you are. We'll be back shortly.
Okay.
Are you ready for the ultimate dietary powerhouse? Look no further than Masana Dietitian's Nutro Boost. Our scientifically formulated low GI food is designed to give you the boost you need to fuel your body and reach your health goals. With Nutro Boost, you have the flexibility to enjoy it as a high fiber cereal or a satisfying shake. Simply mix it with water and indulge in the mouth-watering flavors that we have to offer. But that's not all. NutriBoost is packed with essential nutrients that are beneficial for your overall well-being. Enriched with 20 immune-boosting vitamins and minerals, it's a convenient and effective way to support your immune system. And here's the best part. NutriBoost is gluten-free, egg-free, and high in omega-3, making it suitable for those with dietary restrictions or allergies. Need an energy boost? NutriBoost has you covered. It's high in energy and protein, providing you with the fuel you need to power through your day. Whether it's a busy morning or an intense workout session, say goodbye to midday slumps and hello to sustained energy with NutriBoost. Try it today and experience the difference. For orders or to become a distributor, contact us on the following details.
Wow, welcome back. This is the African Experience. You are with me, Dr. Hlami Ngwenya. I'm not alone. I'm with my beautiful co-host, Aventina Mabunda. We are talking to this inspiring young man, Patrick Thokkie. I mean, I'm listening to him. He is talking about, him being an entrepreneur and all that. And I can feel that, from his voice, the passion and all that. And we're talking anything and everything, Loxion, Loxion, beverage, fruits and beverages and things like that. Before we went on an ad break, he was telling us about what inspired them and all that. But now I want to pick it from there. Why the name Loxion Fruits and Beverage? What inspired the name and what kind of the products? What are some of the products that we are producing? Patrick? Okay. Patrick. Okay, DJ Messi, maybe just, show some of the pictures of some of the products, that Patrick and the team are actually producing, because this is really, really, really beautiful. And while Patrick is really trying to sort, his connection back. Okay. Mandla, Patrick was talking about mentorship and all that, and I'm looking at this branding. Look at
Mm,
that, 100% fruit juice blend.
yes.
What is your take? Hmm.
So, Doc, the program that he's talking about is really very intensive. So
Hmm.
it takes you from inception of starting a business by you mastering yourself. We call it self mastery. And that is in what we call Skills Program One, where we fine tune people's communication. Who do you say you are as a business person? That's
Hmm.
how it starts. And it moves to now compliance, legal compliance, all the health regulations, all the red tape that you need to be aware of when you are in this food and beverage sector. So when you see branding like that, for
Hmm.
some or most of the people that are in that program. It's because now they have heightened understanding of what it means and the mileage you need to take from having a good quality systems of manufacturing and now presenting a very beautiful, high quality packaged product to your customers. So all that you see here is the
Hmm.
understanding behind what it takes. Like he said, he mentioned something that I like very much. He said, talent needs to be managed. So
Yes.
having a skill to bake, it's not enough. Having a skill to
Hmm.
extract juice from a fruit is not enough. You need to understand the logistics behind. And those are some of the things that you see in front of us here. And I so wish he could quickly connect back on so that he can take us through some of this and some of the labeling, what inspired that and what made them move from this to that. That would be lovely to just listen to him going through this and taking us through all this. Patrick, are you back?
Patrick, you have to unmute. Manda, this is so beautiful. I'm looking at the quality of the branding.
Mhm,
If you had not said anything about Loxion and all that, I mean, I'm looking at the Jews and I'm like, it could be, something from, some of, those top, a supermarket, that people go to. And this is so, so beautiful.
mhm.
Patrick, we're busy, showcasing, some of, the products. DJ Messi, put, those products because I want Patrick to speak to those products and the branding and the quality that I'm actually seeing there. DJ Messi, put some more pictures there. Yeah, maybe while we are getting those pictures, why
Mhm.
the name Loxion? What inspired it?
Okay, I'm unmuted. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. I remember again, 2019. Lungelo was working somewhere else. I was working another place, and I was in Pumalanga with work. So we're sitting and we were talking on the phone. And then, look, here's the juice. How do we stand out? How do we tell our story? And then we
Mhm.
said, let's write the Western names. City Watwati, city fruits. And no, man, we need something that tells our story. We need to
Mhm.
talk about us, especially dreamers that come from Loxion, so Loxion Fruits was birthed, though Loxion does exist from another brand, but we had to go with a name that will tell a story, such a Loxion, good, Ekasi, anything can come out of it, it's not always good, it's something which is bad, where, we always look through a survey that lends a good high unemployment, we are always the guinea pigs, we're always the studies, but we're like, look, and the fascinating thing is that when we started operating fully, Corona hit. We lost work. He lost his job. I lost his job in
Mhm.
2020. So, it's like God swept us off our feet and removed from the comfort zone. You have a vision. I've given you something. So, Loxion Foods was born, as a juice and a name brand that represents Loxion. It represents umama wasekhoneni laphayana uthengisa ama-veggie, my brother who's out there uthengisa ama-sloopy juice estradini, the hawkers, abo-taxi driver abagibeza abomama ekuseni, anyone who's from Ekas, wanted to represent our own people, because most of the market and the big names we know, for me, it represents another culture, a group of people, So we also wanted as a people to represent our own self, with the, when it succeeds and it goes global. So imagine Loxion, but they call this thing. We'll tell them the story. It's a Jews that comes from Africa and South Africa in the streets, in the projects, in the township. So, that's how we positioned ourselves with the name Loxion, because our ideas are what's happening, And then on behind the bottle, there's where it tells the story. A bit. We wrote the story that the designer can you change it, just shift and just write our bit of a story. So now people when they drink it and you have time in the text, we pay a move, you learn the story, almost learn to be a look shit, where I come from. So anything is possible.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah, it's actually very interesting to sit and hear the story, and I wished Lungelo could have been part of this, narrative,
Hey,
because I mean I think you
yeah.
guys, go well together. But anyway, it is what it is. So now we want to know more about your journey. You're very good in narrating your story. Now you have a brand. Now you have built yourself a network from the officials within the city of Joburg, within their different food resilience program, the DTI, CEDA, Wakanda, all those things. Now, from there, how has that been for you? What's the importance of forming that network? And what has that network resulted in so far?
Oh, wow. This is man, your question is deep, but I'll answer where I can. Yeah, networks, to everyone listening, networks are important, guys. There's nothing, especially for us as, again, I'll go back to Tineswe Malokshini, and as black entrepreneurs. Remember, we come from different households and backgrounds, and capacities are not the same, You get other people where he goes to Ubaba or a rich uncle who's wealthy, I've got this thing, I need funding investment, and they can make it instant, they can make a miracle. So our disadvantage of most of us young black entrepreneurs, we come from humble beginnings, we come from household, one or two. So when for us to get somewhere, today we start with what government is open for us, So I am going to mention government because we are where we are because of government, I mean, I remember when we walked into NYDA. I'll never forget one of our business advisors there. I forgot his name, the gentleman. When he saw the product, we haven't even changed the brand now, the name of the way it looks, the new design. It was like, wow, guys, don't ever compromise. You're carrying something brilliant. He believed, at first said he believed that guys, you're gonna go far. So networking, we have stakeholders, as Ismail has mentioned, CEDA, they've tested our juice, SEBs, go to
Mm,
SEBs alone, you're going to spend an arm and a leg. We've got
Mm,
4 products which have been tested there. The brands, food and change, that's why I took time. Everything I'm wearing, we got this from GEP, our gear. Halal certification. For us to get a COA, we are housed at a co-working space in Lens through
mm,
government, through City of Joburg, Togo. It's an initiative for us because right now, obviously, as startups affording rent, you need to make sure
mm,
that you're pushing volumes, and you've really
mm,
commercialized and we all have small beginnings. So it is what looks like it's small that is playing a huge role, in closing the gaps, to building the whole operation. I mean, I can talk on, but let me just mention the most important things which we have been helped with thus far. We have received funding for equipment for machine. We have a juice mixing machine. We got
mm,
that from NYDA. So it is the network, it is the people, knowledge, power, training, the trainings that we have. As today, I'm sitting in class in analysis Manza. I've learned so much about quality control. Today, I can tell you, I can give you with a hasset what that means because of this Manza. I didn't even know what that meant. Quality control. What is my value chain? I've learned something like what the SOP, standard operating procedure. That is it in the company. To make sure that it's kept as a harbor. If we don't do such things, stay well. And all of this came without me, going into a business school or sitting by
mm,
a tiger brand. This comes from me, the journey I've walked. entrepreneur, knock, please, entrepreneur, if you are listening, go and knock. There's no such thing government akasebenzi. We are where we are. Yes, we are still going there. But everything today that we are, Loxion fruits, the way it looks from the bottling, the packaging, everything, it has been helping. Government has helped us, it has pushed us to where we are. I don't want to lie, with the halal certifications, the COA, we are about to
Yeah,
even do bigger exploits, because of the opportunities that government has helped us with. I don't want to lie to you. We've got
yeah,
applications sitting about ITC. Sumele ukuthi by God's grace, uphuma ama-truck, uphuma imishina.
yeah,
So
yeah,
guys, I don't want to lie to you. Network is very important, and going to stakeholders. And one thing they do, there's always access to marketing opportunity because you get to be invited to an exhibition, a conventional center. You meet a buyer, a Pick and Pay, or a shop right. There is opportunity. You won't walk into
yeah,
that person as strategy, but they open up these channels about DTIC. So I'll mention them because it is what they've done for us. So I
yeah,
want people to know as well. About
yeah,
Arsita. It was through
yeah,
Arsita that we were able to get a halal certificate. We're given a grant after doing training every 3 months. We use that money to apply for a halal certification. Today we have it. Today we have an application in. Today we just sent samples into, I think, two mainstreams. These big retailers.
mhm,
I don't want to mention them by name, but right now with this where we are sitting at. So soon is one small and heavy retails and big retails.
yeah, yeah. No, I like that. I like the passion, Doc. I don't know about you. I like the passion in his voice. You can see Udlo Mutlo Uyahereza, but I particularly like the name that he gave to the government. We'll send this clip definitely to our government networks. Umkavava. I just like that. I like that. So, Doc, I mean, what's your take on what Patrick has just told us now?
No, I'm just loving it. I could just let him talk and
Mm,
talk and talk because I'm so inspired by the story, but I'm just inspired by the passion and everything. But I think because we know, Manda, we do a lot of mentoring and coaching and all that. It's
mm,
one thing to mentor someone, but it's another thing to get somebody like, Patrick and his partner to take that mentorship seriously and
mm,
do something out of it. And I think it's a two-way stream. It's a two-way stream. I always say when we talk about emancipation and empowerment, I always say there is always a difference between empowerment and emancipation. Empowerment is to give somebody power or to give somebody space. But the ability to use that power and the ability to take that space, it's something that comes from within. And I think that is what I see. You have been
mm,
given the space, but you took that space and make something out of it. And I think for me,
Yes.
that's what stands out from many people that get they get mentored and they don't get anywhere. I'm
mm.
loving that. DJ Messi, I want to see. I know we have more pictures. I think there were some pictures where I know these things are on the shelves and things like that, because for me, I just looked at it, I'm like, no, I can't believe that this has been done by somebody who looks like me, and looking at you, and it just makes me so proud. And if every young person will take any opportunity that is being given to them, this country has, I have hope in the country. DJ Messi, may you please show us more pictures? Okay. Okay, so yeah, there we go. Are you able to see? Let's see. There we go. Patrick, are you
Yeah,
able
yeah,
to
yeah.
see what
Yes,
what
yes.
is there? Take us
I can see.
through. Yes, how many brands? I mean, how many flavors do you have? Take us through.
Yes,
I
yes.
mean, the brand itself. I mean, I'm looking at it. I'm like, no, this is really top class. It's really top-notch.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. No, thank you very much. No, really, really, really deeply humbled, by the fact that you actually liking what you see, and then your words of encouragement, they are a pillar of strength. So there are days in entrepreneurship, you feel like, "Ah, I don't want to wake up, But when you read something positive and people tell you keep going, really, it's strength, It's like imota pele petrol and you're refueled, Because like, yo, I don't want to disappoint the people who are looking at us, When we make it, they make it, The youngsters who are coming up, So yeah, so right now currently we have 7 delicious flavors. So we have cranberry, that's the fastest moving line. I think that's what brings in the orders, And then we have mango, we've got tropical, we've got orange, we've got guava, we've got fruits and vitamins. We're also looking into um, going into a long life. So we want to do like a 6 pack yabantwana, with capacity when the time comes. We want to, it's another market, it's another good market because we do get a lot of questions. We can't abantwana zinguphi. So we want to do the long life pack yabantwana. We also want to release more flavors, other variants, like lychee, cozining, there's pineapple, there's prognamant, So yeah, and inside the brand itself. I'm sure that with Lungelo, we're looking into opening other lines, Zeteri, like we can even have like Iteri mix here. Right now, we're just sitting on the 100% fruit juice. So we just want to position it well so people can know it. But along the line, we just want to stream it, and just grow the brand to be bigger before we venture into something else.
Look at that. Look at that. I mean, your brand is competing with, other brands there. Wow. I'm I'm so,
It can,
so impressed. I'm really so where
wow.
where can people find, these brand? Because I'm looking at I have to look, in the
Oh,
supermarket close to mine. I
oh,
wanna go and
oh,
taste,
yeah.
brand.
Okay.
Where mm,
For now, because we still push, as I was saying earlier on, Guti, we've been in I'll even mention it anyways because we are on the program. So we are in
mm,
talks with ShopRite, we are in talks with Boxer,
mhm,
also Nespa. So hopefully, by God pushing us as well, I hope by
mhm,
December we can be able to outsource it, Gauteng as a whole.
mm,
But for now, for especially because I know in Gauteng we are in different vicinities and areas. So
mm,
you can get on Facebook on Loxion Foods Beverages, and
mhm,
just throw us a message, on there. Or I'll also give my telephone numbers for people who cannot reach to. So the stores we have, I think we have over 13 stores. So it's more in between the south and in the CBD, because the CBD, say Meat Express, there are 2 Meat Expresses that we are occupying.
mm,
There's a discount food store again inside of the CBD, as well as Gandhi Spa. And
mm,
then in Soweto, Sisepara, Snewatlu, there's a wholesaler, Bambanani wholesaler. We've got
mhm,
a spa at Thompsonville, but I think that was
mhm.
converted into a boxer. Yeah, we've
Yeah.
got also, I think a restaurant somewhere, a Protea. So
Mm,
yeah, and then in Midrand, where we have a pretty bread box bakery in
mm,
Midrand, there's a Santa Lapaya. It's also there. It's supplied there. So yeah, here it's a spa. Biggest spa at Thompsonville, this picture there. So, but for other people, when they get maybe say Vaal, say Pitori, we do deliveries. So you can just
mm,
throw us an inbox, a message on our Facebook, Loxion Foods Beverages. So then we
mm,
can be able to attend to you. Just order and we can make sure that we get the juice to you. But also as well, there's a program that we are on. We are about to also get online. That will take a lot.
mm.
I know in Macro now we are registered with it. We just had a bit of things we had to sort out. Macro online, we're also going to be on that platform as well soon.
Okay. I know Mandla might have, some things to comment
Yeah,
about. But before she does that, you mentioned something about registering this and all that. And I want people to
yeah,
understand that in most
yeah,
cases, when somebody from a Loxion, like you
yeah,
and me, it's doing something, it's producing something, the general perception out there is to say, oh no, no, this is not, good quality. This is,
yes, yes.
the kind of things that we
Push it.
put.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah,
but
yeah.
you spoke about how do you adhere to that quality assurance, because you spoke about it a bit, so that people can be assured to say, you know what, yes, somebody can be produced by somebody who looks like Patrick, and this could
Yes,
also be high quality that competes with
yes,
other
yes.
other
Yeah.
supermarkets and things like that. Just
Yeah.
take us
Yeah.
through that because I'm looking at that. I'm
Okay.
seeing quality. I'm seeing
Quality.
quality. I
Yeah.
feel that we
Yeah.
are changing the narrative to say,
Yeah.
yes, can see this good quality and link it to a person who look
Yeah.
like me. Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes.
Mm,
Okay, first of all, before I go to what those mother make us do, there is the fundamental key of quality assurance. But firstly, from a very personal view of a person, I
mm,
believe our muntu most tanda.
mm,
No, there are some things you should not compromise. When you walk into chicken digging and you are spending your money, you are
mm,
expecting good you get value for your money. So
mm,
you as a person as well, I believe you must be a perfectionist, in
mm,
crafting whatever you want to bring, your offering, you cannot say nai iti or choose and you just throw it out there, you don't take care of it. So vision is very important, when you look at once you're holding your product and you envision yourself, it's like Ugustanda, and Ugustanda, and when you walk in the street, people are complimenting you. So should it be with what you're offering? So you
mm,
gotta make sure. I remember when we were designing the Loxion Foods, the brand, the
mm,
look. I'm sure the guy was designing it. I change it at five until
mm,
we got to perfect with now this is gonna attract people. So I'm
mm,
just starting with the outer appearance. You got to be a perfectionist. Other things you cannot compromise. That's why I don't believe in feeling sorry because, our people in Tamiyama, hey, lento elimnandi mara nisho ukuthi aniyenzele emva komphuphu. You get such comments. But
yeah.
the look is very important. When you go into a fridge and you grab that liquid fruit, you give a crush, you're attracted to it. So why should you not also give the same quality standard? Let's start with appearance. And then secondly, we go into your compliance. The industry we are in is very, very, very key. It is important, it's crucial that you comply. Something basic like a COA, you need to make sure that you qualify, you are able to get ECOA. It doesn't matter where you operate, you take care of the environment that you are in, the space. You
Mm,
listen, you make sure, as they mentioned this month, that you hear good to actually, you know, today we learn good today. There's food grade products that you need to use for cleaning and not detergent, like
mm,
I wanna mind you, but you're selling something to customers and people react differently. You got to make sure that you give them the quality. So compliance is very important. You make sure when you find means, you get your COA, your place wherever you are operating from is compliant. It's accredited. You make sure when the means come in, you take the product, let it be tested. Find ways, not just SEBs. Test your product because this thing is SEBs tested. I can
mm,
prove it. It's got results. I mean, when you walk up to the big guys, you go, they manage A1 as a spa. You need to tell him, no, this thing in a COA, it's been self tested. I've got your results. I've got everything now. My paper arm. Now they
mm,
start saying, oh, okay, I've got Dulumelo, he was going to use one of the officers, because they did through agriculture, testing upon, and they've got the certification of your
mm,
compliance. You are going to see Fanelo Zako. This is what you have achieved. You've got the halal certification. So you show them that this is a high quality juice. It's been tested in serious labs. And then I taste that now. I was like, no man, as I'm posing it's got its testing, it's compliant. So it's ready. It's ready to be consumed and used. So yeah, in a nutshell, I believe.
love it. I love it.
Wow.
I just love it.
Wow. So, Doc, this is really very inspiring. The show is called The African Experience because this is where we are sharing our stories in our own way. And this is where we are changing the narrative of how Africa and its people are being seen. Now we even zoning it even deeper, saying this is how we're changing the narrative as to how people coming from Amalogishe are being seen. We are associated with not knowing what we are doing. But now Loxion Fruits and Beverages is telling us now today that no, izinto zishintshile manje. We know about compliance. We know about branding. We know about all the red tape. We know about this industry that we are now wanting to be part in. And
Mhm.
now all I want to say to everyone listening to the show today, let's go out, let's go and support our own. Because in the food business, Doc, the
Mm,
fact is it's a game of numbers, it's a numbers game. So
yeah,
if we don't push volumes, you can have the most brilliant and high quality product. It will remain just that. So this
yeah.
is me now talking to our network partners. Please reach out to Loxion Fruit Beverages, get
Mm,
on their social media profiles, inbox them, DM them, ask them for their details, support them. You know,
yeah,
government entities in all our catering units, let us buy our own products. You know, the NYDAs that are buying you the machinery, those are our customers. You know, Doc, as we were talking in the other workshop,
mm,
government is our biggest customer for SMMEs in particular. So now we are going to circulate this clip, and I know something will come, something will give. So, Doc, from my side, honestly, I'm just humbled and I'm just inspired to even work harder because more people, we want to hear more stories, as
absolutely.
more people as we can to come and talk about these stories, changing the narrative of what Black South Africa is doing, the better. So no,
Absolutely.
thank you so much, Patrick, for coming to the show and talking
Thank
to
you.
us.
Thank you.
Yeah, Doc, you can take over. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I really agree with you. I'm actually, I don't know, shocked, not shocked in a positive way, shocked in a positive way because
Yeah,
this is very inspiring. It's very inspiring.
wow,
I'm sitting here and I'm looking forward, to that, and you spoke about, there are caterers. I mean, in anywhere we go, we are drinking juice and things like that. I
yes,
will drink,
yes.
juice like that and feel proud because the
Wow,
branding and you are telling the story, the quality assurance that you go through and all that. And I would like
yes,
to encourage you to do that as you tell your story. Your story for
wow,
the Loxion is one thing, but tell the story of, the quality assurance because a lot of, perceptions around the products
yes,
that are produced by an African or black
yes,
person.
yes.
The perception is that, it cannot be of good quality. So I would like
Very
you
good.
to
Yes, yes.
include that quality assurance as part of your story so that when somebody looks at the product, they know that, there has been checks and balances, this thing is tested and all that, because it will really take you far. Having said
Okay.
that, where do you see yourself? I mean, what is your vision? I know Lungelo is not here, and as partners, what is your vision? Where do you see
Let's figure like
yourself? Yes.
wow. Okay.
Mm,
Wow. I believe our vision today, firstly with Loxion Foods, the brand, as I said, it was our first offering, we wanted to see it in the short interim. It must be accessible from here to Cape to Cairo. We wanted to go national starting point, just to mention also, we're quite blessed, we're fortunate. I think in last week we were organized by the Department of Agriculture Gauteng. We had on site a SEBS officer, an auditor, so they were
mm,
auditing us, so we are waiting on the results in 2021. Obviously, even if it's negative, we'll take what we need to take from them and fix what needs to be fixed to make sure that we're quite compliant with them and their standards. That so one day not we can also have like a ISO sisimadla cela usizimithini izinto zenu
ISO
ISO 9000.
22,000.
Yes. So we can also be a Posha N, we can go national, we can go international to our brothers and sisters in Africa, and one day be global. This brand, for me, I always say, Lungele, we are global. This thing is going global. Watch the space. One day, but I keep a UEFA, la papa advertise it, but
mm,
as well on top of that, so life impact for brand short for LIB Foods
mm,
as a company and an entity, as we said, Guti, we're a food company. So a part of our business model is not just only be in an operations where we manufacture everything. So we're looking forward to working with other entrepreneurs down the road. Umuntu was producing puphu, someone who can produce tin cans, so we can be able to have a procurement system where we can have a procurement and a licensing and a distribution, because a part of our manufacturing, we want also have a distribution armor inside of the company, so where we can also share, with our other brothers and sisters who know how to manufacture, but who cannot take this thing to retail, to FMCG, into mainstream. When once we have access to such, retailing and access to markets, we don't looking into manufacturing everything. So we want to work with other black entrepreneurs who are up and coming. As long as they are compliant, they've got their paperwork, we can be able to, procure from them, redistribute these products, because I say we cannot manufacture everything. We're a food company, food manufacturing brand entity, so we're looking into working with other brothers and sisters so we can grow, and all share in the pie, do what others have been doing for generations. Or Manyamakala, Maskin Kala, we can also do it. Nothing is stopping us. So I think that is us in the long term, be at a space where we just flood the market, mainstream with all these fast moving lines. We've got Nyazo Khunzi was there, we want to procure each another Khunzi, Snavotsapo Mahe, we want to procure that product as well. Share in the market, and we work together, that's how we can build each other as black people and gain great jobs and employment. We've got youngsters sitting at varsity who are good in marketing or good in TikTok, I'm at design, sales figure, people who are good experts in sales, logistics, operations. So we just want to be at that level where we can also play a role and inspire people and change lives, especially in the black community, and create jobs.
I love that. You're already doing that. I'm standing here. I feel so inspired already. I feel so inspired. And if I feel so
Yeah.
inspired, I can imagine somebody who's listening out there. So if there's somebody, a young person who's listening to this show, and
Yes,
they,
yes.
what is it that you can actually say to that young person from a rural area somewhere? What is the message
Okay.
that you have for them, or even from somebody from a Loxion?
Okay, okay. What I can say to anyone who's listening right now, who's looking into being an entrepreneur, someone once said to me, "Your vision is the ability to see things other people cannot see.
Mm,
God has given you something which is yours. So you as a person, don't be afraid to start. Whatever it is, start. Start scrappy. Start by falling. Start by failing. Fail well as it is,
mm,
but start. Don't worry about being labeled weak. Worry about getting it right first and foremost. And whatever you have, find yourself a niche market, find a corner, find a place where you can offer this to someone, and saying, that's how you find customers, direct marketing, word of mouth, go into the spaces, order, tell them that I'm carrying into so. And most importantly, customer service is key. There's nothing new under the sun. Not we are doing something which already exists. Nothing is new, but how you treat your customer, it will play a big role. And last and most importantly, never ever give up. Don't ever give up. Nothing comes out from giving up but being a failure. The greatest failure is someone is giving up. We fall 10, 20 times, but most importantly, we get up, we go try again. So we have people who will help us, who are with us, who are leading us along the way. So never ever give up in what you do. Sonke sizofika to the business promised land.
wow, wow.
Hmm.
You are such a motivational speaker. Do you
I
do
think that's
that?
what motivates
Do you do that? Do you do motivational speaking?
sometimes they do call me sometimes it's something. So I think that's where it comes from.
Yeah, I'm just thinking, Mandla. I'm just thinking, Patrick. Perhaps that is something that you have to pursue as well, because you are.
Yeah.
I'm captivated. You are talking. I'm captivated. Pursue that
Oh,
because you do have a talent. You really have a
okay. I know.
talent. So you combine
I'm,
this business
yeah.
and do motivational speaking. I could pay. I could pay money to go and listen to you speak
Wow. Wow.
and be inspired. I'm sitting here,
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I'm very
Wow.
captivated. Yep.
No,
Yeah.
thank you, doctor. Thank you. That means a lot. I think this is smart. I must connect me. Yes, we put my connection. You must connect me and I'm such. Connect me to some speakers. But thank you very much. Really, really
Oh my,
appreciate it. Now look at you, doctor. It means a
yeah.
lot.
Oh wow. This
We
has
have to
been
connect.
yeah.
We have
Yeah.
to connect your crew and your team to the CFS.
Please,
Absolutely. We need to
Hundred
connect.
please,
percent.
definitely,
Yeah.
definitely.
Mm.
Hey, manje ngengilali. Bazongihlupha. But anyway, it's it has been an awesome show. You know, I could have just listened to the conversation between you and my beautiful co-host, Dr. Hlami Ngwenya. You telling
Thanks,
your
Yabo.
story, you narrated so, so well. It's brilliant. And you
Oh,
know,
wow.
what I want to know before we go, you know, this hour, you think it's long, but when you're having a good time on this show, you go and you go. By the time you look at the watch, it's now only 5 minutes left. So
Yes.
we did not even ask, being a hard worker that you are, being a focused and visionary guy that you are, being the entrepreneur that you are, what do you do to relax? How do you tone it down? You know, they say entrepreneurs do not sleep. So how do
Yeah,
you
yeah, yeah,
relate? Because we need to have a balance as well. How do you do that?
yeah. Oh yeah, I've never said this, and I don't really put. To tell you the truth, is mother, me, I'm a reader. Hey, I like reading. You know, I won't lie to you. I relax and I think. Especially when there are seasons. There are times. I didn't even mention it. There are times earlier, hey, things were spiraling out of order for us. No
Mm,
longer entrepreneurship. Is an up and down journey. So there are
mm,
times yo, akutangani izinto shamamoda.
mm,
You calculated, but the next thing we have no stock, we have nothing. So I think what is my pillar and I read from people like us. I've read from Mabo Richard Kiyosaki, Rich Dad Poor Dad. I love reading entrepreneurial books. Books that inspire. I will think and grow rich.
mm,
I think it gives us the strength. That motivation to keep going. I do watch TV when there's time. Business TV. But I think most importantly, as an entrepreneur, always find yourself in a space where you can read everything. You read inventory management, read about the izinto lezi sisifundayo xa sisimandla sipha quality control, communications. It sharpens you, it because tomorrow one day you'll never know, most importantly, here's a factor. Dr. Nyazi Mshweyazi, you remember what in the Bible, the visionary Joseph,
mhm,
when Joseph was in the prison, he was in preparation when the time came and Pharaoh requested a certain man. When they
mm,
brought him to Pharaoh, he was going into royalty. He was going into another dimension he does not know. So
mm,
I believe God had prepared him because he took off his prison garments, he cleaned up, and when he got there, if you remember the story, he gave Pharaoh a full business plan of how they're going to fight famine and how Pharaoh can still make wealth. So
mm,
one day you'll sit with investors, billionaires, but and they're speaking a jargon that you don't even know. You gotta be ready.
mm,
You cannot be found yourself, wanting. I believe as entrepreneurs as well, especially if we don't have postgraduate degrees. I don't have a degree, but I like walking. I'm sorry, I forgot to mention. I like walking. I like going and listening to what God is saying. So I love to read, and it's preparation. Your preparation because once you relax, but you prepare. When you read a lot, you get inspired. You read books on declarations, and that's how the universe will open up and things will start happening. So that's where my relaxation comes from, reading books.
mhm,
Thank you.
Though I don't look like I read books.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so, so much. You know what?
mm,
I felt so inspired. I'm just inspired by this conversation and really, really, and I also like the fact that you are so deep. You really deep.
Oh
You
yes.
you are spiritual, you are deep, and yo, you know what? I can only just say, may God bless your journey ahead.
Oh wow. Thank
That's
you,
what I
thank you,
can
thank you
say. May
so
God bless your journey ahead
much.
and
Thank
expand,
you.
your territory. Honestly,
I receive.
Mgaga,
Thank
I
you
don't
so
know.
much.
But
I'm
anyway,
humbled.
yes, we only have 1 minute, 1 minute to go. I felt so inspired, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you felt as inspired as I felt today. This is the African experience, and this is what this show is all about. It is about telling an African story, the story that is told by an African who's pushing boundaries. We are helping, to change that narrative that you can see an African as mediocre and things like that. Yeah, you have an African who's very quality driven and producing, something that is really good quality. And go out there and support, the brands that,
Yeah.
Patrick and Lungelo it's doing. Thank you so much, DJ Messi, who's our technical producer, and thank you so much, Mandla, for contributing, to this journey of, these entrepreneurs. Ladies and gentlemen, next week we are bringing yet another dynamic young lady who's doing something. We're not going to tell you what it is, but you'll feel so inspired. You'll feel so inspired. Let's meet again next week, same time, same place. This is the African
Thank
Experience.
you. Bye-bye.
Much and God bless.
God
Bye.
bless. Bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, here it is.
Streaming 24/7.
24/7.
Bold Moves Radio.
Bold Moves Radio.
Afrika nakupenda sana, oh Afrika nakupenda sana.